Hello.
Hello, Shikhar. Just for everyone to know, we have provided a link in the chat box. You can upload your CV in the link provided within the next 10 minutes, and if time permits, Shikhar would be reviewing one of the CVs. So, yeah, you can go ahead and upload your CVs in the form.
Okay, awesome. So I'm hoping you guys have just as good a time right now. I will share my entire screen. Let's go with screen one share. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
Yes, your screen is visible, Checker.
Okay. This looks good. Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, it's visible.
All right, guys. Before we begin, just a little bit about myself. So I am Shikhar. My parents were in the Air Force, so I've traveled around a lot. I did my BTech from VIT University, Vellore, and I had close to 3 years of work ex in a company before I did my MBA from SPJMR, and then I joined Bain in the consulting domain, associate consultant. In fact, I have worked with Anubhav before, and now I've very recently switched and joined Sun Mobility, which is a EV battery swapping tech. In terms of my prior mentoring sessions that I've had, I had one with GCC, which is a college in Zurich. Obviously, with SPJMR, I have there how to prepare for consulting sessions. Uh, Time coaching, I take a lot of interviews for people who are trying to get into MBA. How should they, kind of frame their answers and stuff. And TNC, the next chapter is where I met Dushyant, and we actually held a how to do a casing session together. And you can usually find me on TopMate, where I usually help people, build out their CVs, resumes, whatever, however how I can help them through my uh, previous experience. So if you have any questions at any point of time, please just keep posting them. But I will jump into the agenda. It's going to be slightly heavy session, but trust me, this session is going to be really important. And whatever doubts you have, we'll cover them towards the end. And if we have time, maybe after the 1 hour mark, also, if you guys want to stay back, we can have a live CV review session if time permits, right? So I'll cover what is consulting basically, and from there we'll look at what the selection process is, not just for consulting companies but for any firm, right? And then we come to like what is a consulting profile or what is a good profile, which is very important. Then we look at the hiring process. We look at how my profile has changed over the years, so that you guys can get a flavor of how you can decide what part of your profile you want to build, and during the course of time how I went about it. And then we'll have some sample series, some additional resources that you guys can have, and my tips and tricks for it, because I've very recently changed my role, so obviously I know a little bit about this, right? So jumping into it, first thing, no way representing any organization. All my views are my own, so the sole objective is to help you all, right? And coming to what is consulting, I know a lot of people are going to cover this, but it's very simply a doctor for a firm. कोई भी कंपनी है आपकी, let's take it's an FMCG firm making a lot of sales, but in certain region, let's say Kerala, they're not able to make their sales. So they might call in consultants to figure out, कि भाई, we are doing so well everywhere else, why are we not doing so well in Kerala? And then we go in, we try to figure out what are the symptoms. Basis the symptoms, we try to do some tests, such as you can see here. They use a small hammer kind of thing on the knee to kind of figure out if there's any problem, knee jerk reaction. And then we tell them what are the therapeutic steps or what are the recommendations, how they can solve it. So I'm pretty sure you would have heard about profitability in earlier sessions. Figure out why the problem is and then recommend actions based on that. That's basically what consulting is. But to make it more, to understand what really happens, what is consulting, we're trying to solve the top problems that clients are facing today. So ESG, environment, social governance, supply chain disruptions, any digital revolution that is going on, cryptocurrency, blockchain, push for green. All of these are cutting edge problems today that companies don't have enough idea or enough resources to kind of solve on their own. And that is where they bring in consultants to help them think about how to solve for these problems. Consulting is really a glamorized domain because of the steep learning curve that you have. You get to interact with the CXOs on a day-to-day basis, and you get amazing like management lessons from your consulting experience. Obviously, you network a lot with a lot of people, and then you have some amazing exit options once you leave, which happened in my case. And the lifestyle is great. You get to travel around a lot. The compensation is fairly competitive, one of the best that's out there. And there's a prestige factor attached with the consulting firm because there are very few consultants out there, right? So coming to a hiring process, selection process, this is not just for consulting, for any firm. They are going to first look at your CV based on basis which you will get a shortlist, right? And let's move away from CV or resume. Let's call it profile in general. So it could be your resume, it could be your LinkedIn profile, it could be somewhere else where you've created something. So your profile has to be good enough that they figure out that yeah, this guy is a great person, let's select him. So you need to have spikes in your CV. And going forward, I'll explain in detail what these spikes are and how you can think about building them. Basically, spike is you need to be excellent at something or the other, whether it be sports, whether it be academics, whether it be some co-curricular activity. You have to be excellent at something, right? And then there's going to be some interaction with the recruitment team, some informal connects. In Bain's case, there's actually a dinner with the leadership team. And then finally, the interview round. So in my college, the interview round were two to four for different people. Basically, you need 2 years during the interviews to get through. So be prepared for multiple rounds of interview, one HR round, one technical round, maybe a group discussion, something like that, right? Okay, before we jump into this, any questions, anything that you guys want to like ask before I proceed further? I think I can access the chat box. Yeah, I can access the chat box. So if you guys have anything till now, just keep posting there. I will keep reading it. So, what do companies look for in a CV? Very simply, let's divide it into a few points. Academics, anything related to whatever you study in a college. Prior work ex, if you have any prior work ex, they look at the prestige of the brand of the company that you work for. So if you worked in a Google or a Facebook or an Amazon, obviously the prestige is going to be there. If you worked at Goldman Sachs, investment banking, prestige is there. Not to say anything wrong with the smaller firms, because there you get to learn a lot more. That brings me to the quality part of it. How good has your actual work ex been? So the kind of projects that you've done, maybe you don't have a work ex right now, maybe you work intern someplace, maybe you've done a project for some company. What has been the quality of the work that you've done and how relevant it is to their firm? So if you're applying for a FMCG firm, which is, let's say, Unilever, HUL. So, do you have any knowledge about sales? Do you have any knowledge about marketing? That is the relevance bit of it, right? And then they look at leadership roles or the PORs. Let's say there is a consulting club in your college. Were you part of its leadership team? Were you the chairperson, co-chair, whatever the designations are? Or maybe there's a dramatics club. Were you there in the dance club, in the speak club? There are so many clubs and committees there. Did you have any leadership roles? What kind of work that you did for that club or committee? Basically, they want to understand, have you worked before, and if you worked before, how well have you gone about it, right? Before they hire you, they want to get a sense of how good a worker are you going to be. And then obviously companies look for extracurriculars and they look for spikes as well as consistency. So spike is, let's say in 10th class I got 90% marks. Consistency is 10th maybe 90%, 12th also 90%, undergrad also I did 9 CGPA, and postgrad also I did 9 CGPA. So that is the consistency bit. So they look for spikes as well as they look for consistency. Spike could be I was a national level player for a sport during my schooling days. Consistency would be I have done well for that sport throughout. So I have done district level, national level, zonals, whatever it may be, right? So they look for spike as well as consistency. And at the end of the day, after everything is done, they also look at your soft skills and they also look at organization fit. Suppose it's a very laid back organization, it's been running for the past 100 years, they don't really move very fast, and you come in all ready to go and you want to be part of the hustle culture, they'll say nah, maybe we'll skip and we'll look at someone else. So that's kind of the left side part of it. On the right side, what I've shown is actually when I was applying for a company, These are the fields that we had to fill. So before I did my MBA, achievement one, achievement two. During MBA, what were the co-curricular activities I was a part of? During MBA, what were the positions of responsibility that I held? So two positions of responsibility. During MBA, what were the extracurriculars that I did? So two extracurriculars. So you see, this is what the companies are looking for. This is what we say is the profile of a person. Can you fill all of these boxes or not? And that's how you have to think about creating your profile or your CV. Okay. Any questions till now? I don't see anything. Am I going too fast, guys? I think I'm going too fast, but hopefully you guys can keep up with it, right? So now that you guys have this list, I will show you how my profile evolved over the iterations that it went through. So VIT, obviously, I had no idea all of this existed. Undergrad, third year of my college, 2016, I didn't even know when I was applying to internship how to create a CV and stuff like that. So, but in VIT, I had a special achiever tag because I had co-founded a firm. So that took care of the curricular or the academics part of it. Co-curricular, I had joined an organization called ASME, American Society for Mechanical Engineers. I'm sure your college would have some similar organizations working in the stream that you guys are specializing in. And I was the co-founder for a human-powered HPVC team. So that basically ticked my co-curricular box. When it comes to extracurriculars, I had Toastmasters. So Toastmasters, I don't know if you guys know, it's basically a platform where you get to go and speak and build your confidence of speaking on stage. And again, technology and gaming club, I was a part of. Maybe you guys can be convener, co-convener for a technical fest, for a cultural fest, tech fest. So stuff like that counts towards your ECA part. And miscellaneous, something else if you can do is competitions. Go to Unstop, look for competitions, look for internships. Maybe you can co-found your own team or a club that you're really passionate about. Like one of my friends went to ISB and he founded an F1 team or something like that. So if you have a good idea, you find some like-minded people, you can create a team or a club around that in your college. I know in SP Jam there's a poker club that has come up recently. So you can really create anything. It just counts towards your profile building. So make sure you do something and then you build on it. It will teach you a lot of stuff as you like go forward. Coming to SPJMR now, now that SPJMR started, I had a lot of information how to build my profile. I had applied to a few firms. I knew this criteria, so I was focusing a lot on the academics part. I was the gold medalist for SPJMR. I got the dean's merit list there, which is basically the top 20 students get that gold medal. Top three guys get there. And coming to extracurriculars, I was in the placement team for the first year. So I knew the ins and out of how to create a resume and how to evaluate a resume, and won to national level corporate competitions. Because I was in marketing, I got an opportunity to intern with Unilever, which is one of the most prestigious brands when it comes to marketing domain. So all of that added up. When it comes to extracurriculars, I was in the football team, vice captain. Unfortunately, COVID years, so we could not play with any other college. It was just our college playing football. So and miscellaneous. So there's a lot of things that you can do. There might be a theater club, there might be a dance club, there might be a speed club, chess club, TT team, any sports activity, anything. Go out there and participate and do something. And this is something that I really did not know when I was doing my VIT stuff. Uh, I did not know that you have to do something so that your profile stands out, because everybody has the same college, the same weight of the profile, because everyone's doing the same thing. What helps you stand out in front of a recruiter is going above and beyond and doing something in your extra time, in your free time. Preferably do something that you're passionate about, because then you'll enjoy it. Now, I will walk you through my CVs through the ages. I will show you what it looked like in 2016. It was bad. I will show you how it was in SKF. I had learned a little bit how to create a CV. And then I joined SPJMR. I'll show you how blank it was. And then I got the CV making gyan that you get in an MBA college. How to create a CV, what are the tips and tricks. I will share those documents with you as well, but a quick glance through will not hurt us. And then after having completed 2 years of MBA, the final version, maybe I'll even show you the current version. And then I'll show you a sample CV that Bain actually asked for when it was asking CAs. So CA, much like yourself, don't have a proper work ethics. It's more education, more internships. They had asked for CAs to apply, and they had shared this format. So I will share it with you. You guys can get to know what a company really looks for in a CV and how you should craft your own CV, right? Uh, Before I get into the advice part of it, let me show you a few CVs and let me take a few questions. So I see Anshika asking, what is the best time to do internship? Which year? So ideally speaking, you would do your applying for your work in the third year. Before you start applying for a work, I'm assuming it's a 3-year program. Let's take the example of engineering. Engineering is a 4-year program. In the final year, all you care about is getting a job. Okay, you don't care about what's going on in the classes. You do some I don't know, some all the fluff courses which don't require any kind of technical knowledge or don't require a lot of concentration. All your time goes into preparing for the companies, preparing for the interviews, and creating a good version of a CV before your third year ends. In BTech, now you can downgrade it or cut down a year if you're in a 3-year program. You should have done everything possible to have the final version. So it should tick all these boxes: curricular, co-curricular, ECA, miscellaneous, right? So you will do an internship at the end of your third year when you're in BTech, or maybe you'll do two internships, one at the end of second year, one at the end of third year. So you guys need to figure out when is the best time for you to do an internship. My recommendation would be before your final year starts, you should have one or two internships done. And I had done two internships before that, so that obviously helps. I'll show you in my CV, right? And not just internships, also become the chair, co-chair, found a team, take part in sports, whatever you guys can do, go out there and do it. Take part in a lot of competitions. Unstop is there. It hosts also so many competitions. Take part. Maybe you'll win. You'll get two national level competition wins. That will be great. A lot of IMs, a lot of MBA colleges host competitions, organize stuff, take part in that, go for tech fest, go for cultural fest, do all of that before you enter into your final year. Okay. What are the key things or basic courses which are essential to put in the CV and make it stand out? Himanshu, that's actually, I'm assuming if you're doing engineering exam for my case, I'm assuming whatever has been taught in engineering is going to be sufficient for me to be able to do my day-to-day job. Now, what would I really do? I will do courses such as leadership. I will do courses such as uh, how to use an Excel, how to use a PowerPoint, so that I can show the recruiter that I know the technical stuff, but on top of that, I know all of these soft skills or all of these things that they don't teach you in an engineering program. So maybe you can do courses around leadership as well, or whatever you think is being missed out in our current curriculum, right? But I really don't think that's as important as having all the other things sorted. So academics, uh, internships, PORs, ECA, extracurricular activities, all of that is important. Karthik says, how to recognize what internship works best for us. Karthik, you love working someplace where you really want to, where you're passionate about something. So if I was doing engineering, if I was working in HR, probably I would not like it. I would be like, क्या चल रहा है यार? मैंने 4 साल engineering किया, not for this. Uh, Vice versa, if you're doing commerce, go and work in the business administration side of stuff, in the finance side of stuff. I'm assuming that's what you guys study a lot. So, but I think whatever like floats your boat, go for it. Whatever internship you think is good, whether it pays or not, doesn't matter. You are doing it right now, not for the stipend, but for the experience. So I think that's more important. And I think two internships is possible. At least one engagement should be a month or 2 month long. So that's how big a break between 2 years in engineering is. Like between second year and third year, you get 1 month. Third year and fourth year, you get 1 month, and that's how long we used to do our internships. Okay, Zubia, how should I customize my resume for different job applications or industries? That's actually a valid point, but I really don't think it's necessary at this stage, although it is recommended that you change your CV for different applications. I will tell you a quick hack for this later. Just remind me, right? That how do I customize the CV? Just remind me, I'll tell you a hack for this. I have campus placements in 3 months' time, but have no work experience or consulting. How shall I approach? So Aditya, they're not looking for consulting work. They're just looking for some work that you've done to evaluate how good a worker or how good a professional you are. So any internship is going to be good enough as long as you have something down and you can speak about it for length, right? So will the nationals and events are participated during school time count as well? Ideally, yes, but the more time has gone, the less weightage they will have. Okay. So let me show you my CVs, and please don't laugh, guys. Uh, I was in an engineering college and I had absolutely no idea how a CV should look. So this is basically how it looked when I was in VIT final year. Things to note is I did have academic qualifications down. I did have co-curricular as a header. I did have extracurriculars as an header, and I did have like personal information and stuff like that. So academics, co-curricular, extracurricular. Like I had a lot of good stuff already mentioned. What I didn't have is maybe POR section. If I go back to the slide, positions of responsibility is something that is really important, or leadership roles, and I would have been better off calling it with that header name, right? So you can see it's really bad. A lot of white space flowing into 2 pages, a lot of unnecessary information. I don't think they really care about my mother's or father's name at this point. And looking back now, I think despite it looking very simple, it's pretty crap. It has to be one pager. That's the first thing as a takeaway. It has to be one pager, right? Um, so that coming to SKF now, when I started applying to MBA colleges, I was like, okay, now I need to have a badass CV. So it has to be lengthy. It has to cover everything that I can possibly put in. Or even if I have not done work, I just needed to put as much stuff down. So I even put my picture in. I don't know what was my logic behind that, but okay, probably not required according to me. So one good thing is having your brand logos or something is really good. I think that's something that you can pick up. Having basics is important. Probably address is not important at this point of time unless you're applying to different cities. So if I was in Bangalore and I was only applying to Bangalore, probably didn't matter. Objective statement is good to have. Academic is good. Internships is good. Co-curriculars, extracurriculars, personal information, references. Nah, references also not that much needed, right? Okay, so this was where I was before I joined an MBA program. Now, when you join an MBA program, they give you a lot of quote unquote MBA gyan, right, on how to create your CV. And that's what I got. And what that basically means is that there is a proper theory of how to go about making a CV. There are some action verbs or power verbs which you use. So instead of saying that I uh, created a team, or I created something, or I created an Excel dashboard, you would probably go for a much more stronger word. So because it's a research skill, so you will go with, let's say, created ki jagah I analyzed or clarified or formulated an Excel dashboard. So the quality of the word that you're using in your experience just goes up, right? Or probably, let's say, you helped the GTs or the trainees in your program to like upskill. So maybe you'll go to helping section and then say, I counseled them, I advocated for them, or something like that. So basically, there's a list. You can just Google power verbs and you'll get lots of lists to like increase the quality of the statement that you're writing. So right now it is created factory business development strategy. Instead of created, I can probably go to this and I can look for, okay, instead of created, maybe I'll say incorporated. Maybe I'll say recommended, a better word for that, right? That is first thing, which is power verbs or action verbs. Second thing is CV point articulation tips. So I will not go through all of this right now, but I will tell you what's the most important part. Front loading means whatever is on your CV, the best of the best has to be captured in the left top half, right? Because probably that's all that they're going to look at. So you can't waste your space by putting your email ID, phone number, date of birth. This first part of the section, this much, should have all the important things that you want to speak about, right? Uh, and then how to formulate your statements. So if you have any AIR or you have anything good to write, it should be front loaded. It should be towards the start of the pointer, CV pointer, right? Quantification is very important. Just saying AIR 1 isn't important. Just saying gold medalist isn't important. You have to say gold medalist in a batch of 240 candidates, stuff like that, right? Uh, Coming to consistency bit, some people will say rank one first and then FIRST. Don't do that stuff. Rank one is going to be rank one, rank one, rank one, or first, first, first. Just don't mix up all of this. It should be consistent throughout. You can't say rupees one place and RS dot at another place. Just make sure to solve for consistency. Blank spaces again. It should be covering the whole as much as possible. Let's say 80% of the box, right? This 80% of whatever you're writing has to be covered. It should not look too crowded that you had so much to write that your space got over and you could not complete it, nor should it be so small that the white space stands out. So if you look at my CV and you look at white spaces, you'll understand what I'm saying now, right? So coming to overflow, best to avoid this, having one single word going to the next line. I'm pretty sure that you can wordsmith it and you can change a few sentences and make sure that it can fit into the same line as they've shown here in the example. Action verbs, as I told you, also called power verbs. Led can become directed, started can become spearheaded. Very basic, very essential. And also don't have led. Nobody wants to read led. Just say, use different words out there. And also never use local lingo, never use some short forms that nobody will know. uh, Probably the saviors was an NGO, but you would not know who the saviors are if you just read this. So you have to say volunteered in the saviors NGO, right? And then if you have done the same thing over and over again, for example, you got gold medalist in 2017, 2018, just you can club it so that you save some space and you can show off more, in other words. This is very important, guys. If there's one thing that I need you to take up from the whole session, is this: winner, or rank one is the most important thing that you can have on your CV, right? So this person, they won. Out of 20 plus people, they were the winner. Out of 100 plus people, they were the winner. In 7 quiz contests, they were a winner. So doesn't matter out of how many people they were a winner. If you were a winner, you have to put it on the left side, and it really goes a long way to show that this guy has achieved a lot, and it goes a long way. And this article was by Shweta Arora, so you can read up more on that. But in general, I will share this document with you, and I hope that it will be of help. Right? So this is the MBA Gyan part. After having completed, I will now show you how our CV looks. And is this the one? No. Okay, this is the one when I joined MBA. And if you can see, I had so much free space that I had to fill. This format, as you can see, the SPJMR logo, the name and everything, this was set by the college. You could not change it. This is where you could actually play after the work experience part. And this is how much of a gap I had in my CV, which I had to solve for, right? I had extracurriculars, but not much. I had put PORs, but not much. No internships, no projects, no acads, no workex. I had to solve for a lot of that, right? And coming to the final version, I was obviously able to complete it. Actually, I had more points than the CV would allow. I had some projects now added to it. I had some non-classroom thing I had done. I had more positions and responsibilities, better extracurricular achievements because national runner, national finalist. That's the winner effect that I'm talking about. Dean's merit list, marketing area top five, special achiever, winner concept. That's I was talking about. So this is what the spikes in a CV really is. This having a winner in a academics goes a long way. This having winner in a extracurriculars goes a long way, right? Finally, coming to the CV version I have currently, looks a lot worse than the earlier versions because now I have to fit in a lot of work that I've done during my Bain work, during my internship, during my escape work, and also put in all the PORs and ECA that I have. So this is the final version, and you'll see something else come into play. That is the objective statement or the statement at the top that we have seen like quite early on in one of my earliest CVs, right? This objective. So okay, those were my CVs through the ages. I just thought that it might be good for you guys to have a look. Coming to any other questions that have come up till now, will the national events I participated during the school time count? Yeah, I answered that. Any other stuff that you guys want to ask? I will wait a few seconds. Okay, I see a few questions. What do you suggest to a beginner preparing CV for the first time, like with no work ex? This is the sample CV that we're going to cover right now. Let me share my screen once again. Entire screen, screen one, share. You guys can see it, right? Uh,
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. All right. So sample CV, everything that you need to know about what you guys need to do. I've just shown you kind of how the CV progresses and how you should think about creating a CV first. We'll get to that. Small business owner, definitely you should put it on a CV, probably in the extracurricular section, because you want to show that that work ex has really helped you, or that experience has really helped you think about the problems that businesses face and how to solve them. So important. Go for it. Single paged, Prashant, we haven't done so much work that it requires a multi-page, right? If you have research papers, 10 plus research papers, go for it. But if you don't have that much, stick to a single page, and nobody is going to flip page and see what else they've written. They're only going to see, let's say, 40% top 40% of a CV, and try and make an assessment based on that. So all the most important stuff has to be captured there. Um, how should the sections be proportionally divided? Keshav, that's a really good question. Hold on to that and ask me after I've shown you the sample CV, right? Reminding my query, how shall I customize? Yeah, and how to customize your CV. Great. So this is the sample CV version that I was speaking about. Okay, this is not. Wait 1 second. This is the sample version that I was talking about. Can you guys see this? Yeah, it's visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So this is what they sent to CAs. CAs joined in, or maybe you can consider this is also applicable to someone maybe uh, who's in undergrad. Name, email ID, contact, basics, get them out of the way. I would say even don't go into single lines. You can even make it in one line you can cover all of that, like I have done in this, right? Phone number, email ID, LinkedIn, maybe address, maybe if you want to put it in. If you don't want to, that's also great. Cover that. Then comes your academics. So the first thing, because you're in undergrad right now, you're studying right now. Most important is acads. You mentioned which year, what degree you did, which board or institute, what CGPA you got, and if anything that you can write about. Rank, not necessarily just rank. You can write, got a certificate for 10 by 10 CGPA, or special achiever award, gold medalist, dean's merit list, whatever you can write, you capture that here, right? Um they've also given some remarks, so you can go through that later on when I send it to you. Then comes the work experience part. Although you haven't properly worked, you've done internships, you can call this the internship part, right? Very important to capture the organization's name and the exact duration that you worked, from month to month. And then you'll say, okay, I worked in XYZ function, XYZ team, and what I did in that team. So let me show you how I captured this. First, I worked in the automotive department, so I had 3 points for automotive, and then I worked in manufacturing a lot, a few points regarding that, and I had some points for other industries. Now this is like some, one is a healthcare provider, one is a social venture, one is a media house. So usually you will have, you can segregate your CV basis industries, basis the kind of team that you worked in, or something like that, right? So it's good to demarcate that, okay, for 1 month I was working with the marketing team, for 1 month I was working with the finance team, and then put down within that what you did, right? Very important to describe basically in the first line what your role was. So let's say you worked with Grow and you were in the marketing team and you were helping them create social media content, and essentially what you were doing was creating the uh, graphics or the designs for them. So essentially, first thing you will say, I was working with the Grows content team, helping them create and deliver content on their various social media platforms. Then you jump into, I created so many versions, so many different things for the LinkedIn platform, and had so much success rate, grew their customer interaction or their traction by XYZ%, stuff like that. That's how you describe your roles. Again, you that might not be the only internship you've done. Maybe you'll do some other industrial trainings, or maybe you have done, let's say your college has ended 3 years and then now you've worked someplace, maybe 6 months, half time, full time, whatever. So you can capture that here. Ideally, my recommendation, and this is where I deviate from the Bain's workings, is it should be in a reverse chronological order. Reverse chronological order basically means whatever is the most recent has to be on top, right? Even during 10th, 12th, you will write whenever you pass out. I think 2024, that should be first. Then it should be 2022, you did your schooling. 2020, you did your 10th, 12th. All of that should be. That's the way you have to structure it, and that's the reverse chronological order part. Then you capture your positions of responsibility, and this is where it's slightly different from how I have done my CVs. If you look at my CVs, I call it extracurriculars, and then on the left side, or position of responsibility, and then I call it, whatever I have done. This I have picked up from them. Earlier I used to do something like, I don't know, this CV, right? Earlier, I used to do just co-curricular activities and then call out what I did. And in the very small, I used to say I was the founding member and manufacturing head, absolutely losing the value of the fact that I was a manufacturing head or I was a founding member. And those are the positions of responsibility. After that, which I should have written everything else. So very important to capture that positions of responsibility. Let's say you did first thing for a consulting club, second thing for the dance committee, a dance team, dance club, and you put down within that what you did. Participated in so many competitions, won some prize in some college, inter-college competitions, stuff like that. So came second out of 7+ teams. That's how you quantify your CV points. And then extracurriculars is extracurriculars. Whatever is not directly related to your course is extracurriculars. So this is where the shop or small business owner wala, pointer would go. And then any other achievement that you have, anything else that you want to put. Maybe you won a scholarship, maybe you presented a paper, maybe you did international exchange in some college abroad. All of that you can put over here. And in the Bain's guidelines, limit the CV to one page only, and that's why I say we haven't done so much in our first 5 years of ACADS and post ACADS that it justifies 2 pages. So stick to one page, and minimum font size. So just to fit everything in one page does not mean you make it too small, illegible. Basically, what you do is you remove whatever is not applicable, and you basically prioritize what you want to put on your CV. So if you look at my earliest CV, which was when I was in college, a lot of white spaces, a lot of blank spaces, like this whole thing is blank, this whole thing is blank, leading to it flowing into 2 pages, right? That is what we have to avoid. Coming to when I joined MBA, this is the format that they gave me, and now you can see it's a lot more compact. So much so that there was actually this much white space that I had to address, and I had to actually fill. So that is the Bain's template. What I would say is you put your name and everything in the first line, something like this, and then you have an about section or a very small description of what you want to do, right? This whole thing, uh, this whole thing, like whatever you want to put, you put over here. And this is the customization part that I'm going to talk about soon. But coming back to this is the version. Might be it will not be applicable to you. Might be there might be a different way how your college does it. For example, you will see in this WorkX, POR, extracurriculars, other information, right? That's the flow. In our SPJMR CV format, it was WorkX, ACADS, then internships, projects. Last में they used to have POR and extracurricular. So you can see someone would prioritize WorkX, someone would prioritize ACADS. In your case, since you probably have only internships and stuff, obviously the most important part is your acads bit, and that's why I'm saying do well in acads. It opens a lot of doors. uh, I have been on the receiving end when I didn't do so much in VIT, and when I did well in SPJMR, it gave me the opportunity to go for a international exchange program. So, and that's the first section in your CV, so I think it would work. Any questions regarding the CV format? uh, Are the scores or CGPA during college given more importance than the co-curriculars? Yeah, Zubia. So it's, whatever's in the top gets a lot more weightage, unfortunately. But a smart CV reviewer will not go, oh, academics, oh, they've done well, they are so good. They will probably, let's say this is the CV, right? They will probably open it. They will create a text box for themselves, a sticky note, and they will say ACATS, and then I have to put a score there, work X, and I will assign a score there. I will go to PORs, I will put a score there, ECA, I will put a score there, and then probably based on that, I will create an overall score. And a smart CV reviewer is going to see what have you done in ACADS, what have you done in WorkX, PORs, ECA, and then finally, where do you stand? So that is that. I'm a fresher. What are the important points I should keep in mind to do in college to make my CV more attractive? Probably go with a very basic bland CV version. This is too much red, and Bain has red color logo. That's why they depend on red. I would say just go with plain white or light gray colors, and that makes the paper attractive. But how to make the section attractive is maybe do some projects, get some good companies that you've done a project with: Aether Energy, EV Player, Flipkart, Mama Earth, Starbucks, stuff like that. uh, do good positions of responsibility. If you work with the placement team, consulting club, the committee responsible for preparing other people for the placements, Toastmasters, some head of some department, some team, national runners in some corporate competition. All of this goes a long way in kind of making a profile attractive in that sense. You will get a better sense of this when I'm evaluating someone's CV, but this is exactly how the CV review process happens. Um, how should I customize my review? We'll get to that. What is considered to be a good CGPA, especially for someone who has no work or internship? So basically, how should I put this? Ideal ideal CV would be a 999 profile, which is 10th class you got a 90 plus percentage, 12th class you got a 90 plus percentage, in your undergrad you got a 90 plus percentage, and if not, if you are, let's say, a 998, so why was this 8? So what did you do that you lost out on your acats, but you did something in your other parts of your life where you made up for it? So for example, I have a 998 profile. You can see here. It says 1098, but basically the 10 CGPA converts to 95% in 10, like in the 10th class. So I have a 8 CGPA, right, in VIT. But what do I make up for? I say I was a special achiever. And why was I a special achiever? Because I co-founded a team, represented VIT at a national level, and hence I sacrificed my acats to do something that I really wanted to do something different. And still I achieved a meritorious academic performance. Still I got a 8 CGPA, and that's how you justify the bad grades. Suppose you have 60% in 10, but you were part of some sports, some Toastmasters, some speaking club, debate club, something you did, quiz team, and that's why even if your acads were bad, you did something to justify for it. एट द सेम टाइम दीज आर ऑल पुराने पाप, आप अपने पुराने पापों का कुछ नहीं कर सकते. सो probably go back whenever in doubt, go back to where's my yeah, go back to this is how you have to evaluate your CV. Look at how good are you doing in curriculars, right? Okay, my curriculars are shit, forget it. Can anything be done? No, my acads are going bad in college, leave it. Co-curriculars, are there any good committees, clubs? Let's say you were doing engineering, Are there any engineering societies? There is a Formula One team. There is a remote controlled aircraft team in our college. Can I be a part of that to show? Although my cards were bad, I was focusing on this, and that's why I could not focus on studies. If not, doesn't matter. Let's look at extracurriculars. Can I join in an NGO? Can I be a part of some uh, I don't know, camera society, like photography society? Can I be part of some debate society, theatrics, anything that I can do? Nothing else. Can I do anything miscellaneous? Can I take part in some corporate competitions through the Unstop platform? Can I do some awesome internships with some good companies? The brand name is very important. And then can I found a team if nothing else? A poker team also helps. So all of that goes into it, right? Uh, I think let's go ahead with the PPT because I have to cover the advice part of it. So I will take the questions in a bit. Display settings, swap, and then close this. Yeah. So okay, guys, advice: leverage ChatGPT heavily, right? And as well, LinkedIn also has a CV creator tool. I will in fact show you how the if I have it. Let me see if I have it. How the CV created by LinkedIn look. It was crap, but I can say at least that's one thing that you can do. Okay, I don't have it. Sad. Okay, good. So swap presenter. Leverage ChatGPT. What you do is you essentially tell them ki hi ChatGPT. I in my college I was part of the Toastmasters club. It was a 50-member team. I was the vice president for XYZ department. I took part in so many events. I actually came second in the speaking contest. Can you create a one-liner CV point? It will look at it and it will create a perfect one-liner CV point. You like it, good enough. Don't like it, tell it, reframe this. I don't like the way you structured it. I want to highlight that I won the competition or I came second. He will move. They will move the second that you came second part to the starting of the sentence. If you don't like ChatGPT, go for Google Bard. Do the same thing. Whichever version is better, use that. If nothing else works, LinkedIn has a CV creator tool. You can go back to that. Where this is really important is when you want to customize the CV. Now, assuming you are doing your course, you're also applying to some firms for their content creation, and you're also applying to some firms for the finance department. Two different things, different tasks. For the content creation firm, you ask ChatGPT that okay, I have done so many things. I have this platform. I have this is my portfolio. I have done so many different things. These are tools I know how to use. Can you create a customized short point for me to put on the top of my CV as my objective to join content creation teams in big organizations? It will create a version. Next, you say, I'm interested in finance. I have done these courses. These are the areas of interest. I know Excel well. Can you create a customized one liner or a short objective? And it will do the same. And I will show you that I have exactly that in the current version. Highly accomplished professional with strong academic background, diverse experience in strategy and execution. Basically, you just tell ChatGPT, this is all the stuff that I've done in my life. Can you create a version and it will do something, right? So do that. Once you've done, go through LinkedIn's resume evaluator. So once you have a resume built, right, you have to tell it that I am applying for content creation roles, and they will tell you that these are the keywords that recruiters look for, and these are the keywords that you have in your CV. These are the ones that are missing, and maybe you can work something out and change some pointers to make sure that it captures the best that it can. Use power verbs, very important. Use power verbs. I'll share that document with you. But more importantly, once you have ChatGPT and Google Bard and AI, it will help you with that. But still, go through it once and find a better word whenever you can. Use CAR approach. Now, this is something that is not covered a lot by people, but this is something that is really important. So, what CAR means is context, action, result. So, whenever you're putting a CV point, you say what was the context, what did you do, and hence what was the result achieved. So let's say I was in the business development team, that's the context. I created a customized product for a big key account, and the result was that we won $10 million order. So that's your context action result. And when you present it, you make it RAC. So you first put the result that I won a $10 million order by customizing a product as part of the business development team. So RAC becomes how you put it on your CV. But when you're framing it, remember to make it context action result so that you cover all the major parts, right? And be ready to have proofs or justifications for whatever you've written. Don't make stuff up. We don't want to like go back later and then figure out you've written you've done an Excel course or you've done some course in marketing but you don't know shit. So that's a big red flag and it's a no. Don't do that. Don't make stuff up. Do what put whatever you've done in your life. Never ever ever lie on your CV. It gets caught, and if it gets caught, you are screwed. But pro tips: be comfortable, confident, and project your best self. Now this is different. This best self is you neither exaggerate nor downplay your profile. So if I've got a gold medal from SPJMR, I'm going to put it that I received a gold medal from SPJMR. But if I don't have it, I should not put it. If you have it, be humble and project the best self of yourself. Whatever you've achieved, you have to put it on your CV, right? And let me tell you this: the harsh reality. Everyone's CV is good, right? Your CV is not going to really like stand out a lot. Everyone in my college was in SPJMR, probably 2 years of work. Obviously, everybody did good work. That's how they got into the college in the first place. So what stands out is your positivity, your interest in joining the firm. How do you interact with them? How passionate you are about the work that you're going to do. Good communication, which is same as having very good confidence. So when you talk to them, you have a good conversation. You exude confidence when you're speaking to them, and then having a smile whenever you're talking to them, whenever you're face to face, is a cherry on the top, right? Okay, a lot of stuff I have covered. Q&A, and if we have 5 minutes, I will cover this Q&A in that. And whoever wants to stay back for a CV review part, they can stay back. I'm sure the team is going to send me something so that I can do that in front of you. Okay, till then, some questions. Did I cover your question, Zubia? How to customize? Just go to ChatGPT and then whatever industry you want, tell it what you've done in that industry, and then you basically get it to do the grunt work for you. Okay. Probably take a shot at it yourself first, because it's much easier to tell chat gpt that okay, this is my CV point, this is my point, can you make it better, can you make it CV worthy, can you make it for my resume, rephrase it. That is much easier. So if you have the prompt as your full sentence and then ask it to improve it, it's much easier, and you would like it more because you created the essential part of it. Okay. How to prioritize what all to add in CV, or is it better to add everything? No, no, no. So you can't put everything because you have only a page. You go back to this list that you have, right? You have to have some achievements, some co-curriculars, some PORs, some extracurriculars, and basically make sure that you're ticking all the boxes. So go to this, create something like this for yourself, put down whatever you've done, put down whatever you can possibly do in the future. Can you put a research paper? Can you do a publication? Can you join some club or committee in your second year or in your first year? Can you found a team in your second year or in your final year? Doesn't matter. Can you take part in the tech fest? Can you take part in the cultural fest? Even a coordinator level position is good. Convener is the best that you can have, right? So you have one page, you have to figure out what matters more. I would say at an undergraduate level, the acads and anything related to curriculars matters the most. And I think that's the flow, right? Curricular, co-curricular, extracurriculars, and then the miscellaneous. That is the flow that's going to remain throughout. Okay. How does different formats affect our ATS score? So I'm not really sure how the ATS works, but just to help you out, you can create a version on LinkedIn. First, you create your LinkedIn profile, fill it up properly, keep it up to date, put down good stuff. Once it's done, you ask LinkedIn to create a CV for you. When it creates a CV, it will be the ATS version of the CV, right? So it will mention your location, address, your phone number, your email ID. Pick up whatever you like in that, and then you put it in a one pager, because LinkedIn makes a 4 5 pager version, which sucks. Okay. I have a 10-10-8 profile. I have two PORs, President of State Department and Secretary of Consulting, along with case comps, projects, or single general engineer. Should I go ahead with this or not? I mean, finally, man, that's an amazing profile. Okay. Oh, 10-10-8. ACADS is good. 8 in undergrad is bad. For that, you're saying you have two PORs, one president level, one secretary level. Both are good. So, ACADS is good. Co-curriculars is good. Uh, Extracurriculars, what do you have? Along with case comps, projects and internships. So projects and internships could be workets. Case comps we've already counted towards co-curriculars. You don't have ECA. I think you should go for an NGO. Uh, that makes sense. And miscellaneous could
Should
be.
I go for an NGO? Sorry to interrupt. Should I go for an NGO or should I increase my CGPA in college? Like I can give the repapers.
If see your acads 10 and 8, 10 and 10 means that your acads are
998,
bad.
998.
8 is bad because you don't have 9, but then at least you have co-curriculars. So that 8, you have a justification why it was bad. But your ECA section is blank right now, so that's why maybe you should have something. But if not, you can probably just start applying for colleges, companies right away, and in the meantime, get associated with something that helps out, innovation club, or NGO, Toastmasters, something like that. So that's
Okay.
how you have to evaluate your profile. What is missing? Do I have everything covered or not? Stuff like that. Okay.
I
Uh,
have another question. I'll
yeah,
just type it out. Sorry.
yeah. How should the sections of a resume be proportionally divided? Yeah. Okay, this is important. So let me look at my SPJMR CV. So ACADS is going to take whatever space it's going to take, right? You have your 10th, 11th, 12th, maybe some remarks that you want to put in. Either you can put it below if it's a big pointer, or you can put it right here if it's just a rank that you want to mention, right? My experience says that you can't fit in here a team's merit list properly. So you can put it beneath your ACADS part if you have something that you want to put, right? Other than that, some internships are going to take up the space that you can. Essentially, what you're going to do is no matter what pointer, you stick to 3 or 4 points. So if it's an internship that I've done, I am going to put 4 points. But if it was just a project, one point each, right? I don't spend too much time on it, just one point each. uh, Again, if I work with some NGO, Vigyan Ashram, 1 point is enough. Abhidya, one program where we mentor a underprivileged child, 1 pointer. uh, I was a member for a committee, 1 pointer. I was the vice president of a committee, probably 2 pointers is fine. 2 lines is fine. I was the manufacturing head, should be 2 pointers, but because it's so old, it's 2016, and I was applying in 2021. 5 years have gone by does not justify having 2 points or like so much space that it takes up to, unless it was really good. Again, all the extracurricular activities, one line each, stuff like that. So essentially, that's how I'm thinking about putting it all down, right? Uh, Wherever you have space, I think the only place you will have space is your projects part or your internships part, where I think for every internship you put down 3 to 4 points. That's about it, right? 3 is the best. 4 is actually too much, but you just want to highlight the Hindustan Unilever brand name. That's why you put 4 pointers, because you can see here there's a lot of white space towards the end. Like here, there is some white space that could have been avoided, but not really needed, right? Okay. 888 is good, Shubham. The only thing that matters is how you are saying that, okay, I have 888 or I have 666. But look, that's the attached part. This is other than that what I've done. And then you put down some other stuff. Let's say you were into running, long distance running, or some other sports. You put that down. That, I was into sports, I was into long distance running. Acads was never my thing. Uh, but Acads is going to be at the top, or maybe, in this version, Acads is at the top. So having a good profile helps. If it isn't good, all these other skills are there for you to build it up.
Hello,
Yeah. Yeah,
Richa,
Srivastav,
do you have any
you
question?
can. Yeah, go ahead.
Or else turn off your mic.
Uh, Hello. Okay, Ashok. First thing, you have to have your general CV, and basically once your CV is ready, you go to LinkedIn and you start doing easy apply for whatever is available. Just attach it and keep applying, keep applying. Whenever a company comes across and says, "I want it in this format," it's easy to just copy paste your stuff and then put it in whatever format they have, right? So your own version is what matters more. Probably I would recommend, going forward, your college has a college level version, like SPJMR. It has a good brand name, so everyone has the same format. But If you're applying a lot of off campus, you can go with whatever like version you want to create, right? Okay, I think I have spoken a lot. If anybody has any questions, please put it in the chat box. Till then, I will look at if the team has sent me a CV to look at. Okay, this is the one, Parishi's resume. Okay, Parishi, one of the attendees. Hi, Parishi, can we see you? Oh, I can't see you. Parishi, hello. Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I will not ask you to turn on your video if you're not comfortable, but let's go with it. Okay. Let's see. So I turn on my highlighter. So just like be comfortable, okay? I'm not going to grill you, and it's just for like for everyone else to learn how to go about it. Uh, your name is most important, so this should come first, and then anything else, any other details, right? I don't want to read what's your roll number. I want to know who's the person who's applying for the role. Probably there's some space that you can save by putting email and phone number in the same line, but you can just shift this up and shift that down, and then you're fine, right? You shift this up, shift this down, that is good to go. uh, Name can be in caps. Academic qualifications, course, university, year of passing, performance. Uh, Maybe if year of passing is in the future, you should write pursuing slash current or something like that. What did we have in our college? We had pursuing, yeah. So if you haven't reached there, you should not mention it. Performance. So here's the thing. Now you have a rank. You have a rank that you want to mention, but you don't have enough space. So why don't you squeeze everything to the left a little bit? Maybe the this can be only this big. Your obviously university is going to take up some space. Year of passing needs to take up very little space, and then you can like have this much space available where you can put rank aram se. Or you can even divide it into two sections. You can put one CGPA and then one different section for, let's say, rank or remarks or achievements or whatever, right? Like we have in this, you have rank as a separate section, and just call it degree, just call it board, just call it percentage or CGPA. So performance might not get picked up by the ATS, CGPA will get picked up. So might help. Okay. So now when I'm reviewing a CV, I usually put this and I say uh, rank should be called out separately. And then you have to figure out how you're going to actually put it, right? Feel free to like let me know whatever you're thinking, anything. uh, just can just mention courses, additional qualifications and courses is a good header, but you can just say courses and get done with it. Even don't waste so much space. Like if you have a lot of work that you've done, since it's going into 2 pages, it's going to be, you need a one pager. So what you do is you just add a cell over here and delete the rows, just have one single, and then just start putting stuff in. National Stock Exchange, I did the beginners module, or completed beginners module from NSE in the year, stuff like that, you capture it. Like we have in our CV, we have this, right? After our education part is completed, we have one cell where we mention, okay, what did we do? Let's say NSE derivatives. What was the course name? The beginners module, and then which year I completed the course. Very important to show whether it was recent or old, right? Uh, Internships is good. Project manager, Pehchan the street school trust online. What's online? Because it was online, that's why you put it.
The mode of internship.
Is it required?
Guess so.
Nah, doesn't matter, right? Work is work. Online might devaluate, might not, is not going to be value add. So don't need to put it right now. If they ask, you can tell them. Again, 4 points taking up half of space. I'm not even going into the content part. I'm just saying half of space. You can merge 2 points together and make sure that it's like covering one full line, and then you'll have more space within this CV itself. And that's how it will become a one pager instead of two. Now let's go through the points. Project manager, pehchan. Okay. Conducted thorough research on the projects revolving around workshops for introduction. How many number of projects? How many underprivileged students? अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आई एम सेइंग यू नीड टू क्वांटिफाई कि भाई मैंने क्या काम किया है अगर मैंने रिसर्च किया प्रोजेक्ट्स पे तो हाउ मेनी प्रोजेक्ट्स या हाउ मेनी रिसर्चेस आई अंडरटुक हाउ मेनी एनालिसिस आई अंडरटुक how many workshops were there how many underprivileged children were there yeah you can say for 3 plus states for 10 plus geographies for 10 plus countries stuff like that so you need to quantify what you've done so you've done April May June July 3 or 4 month internship within these 3 4 months what all like a good number would be around let's say 10 plus researches or 10 plus projects one every week kind of identified potential leads for collaboration and tap them so potential leads is there any rupee value or if these are organizations so how many leads right you have to tell them that I came up with around 7 plus leads for collaboration or maybe I came up with 15 plus potential leads and I actually converted 3 plus so you can put it like that converted versus potential, right? So probably that's how I would put it. Brainstorm and introduce various topics of workshop. Um, since you've already covered workshops over here and research over here, this can be clubbed together with some other point. I don't know if the above point, but probably put all four into ChatGPT and ask it to make it a 3 pointer or a 2 pointer, and it will do the rest. Work collaboratively to implement workshops and understand areas of improvement. Right, this is good. I think the last point is actually very good, and that should be the one that you start with. Maybe one thing that is missing is the bolding part. Right now, I know what company I'm applying for, and the company is going to be really interested in that I led new product launches as the business development team, or I created a real-time dashboard. Those are the important parts within my CV pointer that I want to highlight. So probably in your, I would highlight, let's say, um, cross-functional teams, right? Conducted conducted thorough research might just become conducted research, yeah, analyzed projects and potential leads. These are the three words that I would probably have in bold because those are the more important parts of the CV pointer. And the way you think about bolding is if I don't read the whole point, I just look at that bold part. Can I make out if this person knows a certain thing or not? That's the important part. Content writer, Unite the World Foundation, online. Again, I don't think online is necessary. 2021. So, okay. Now, consistency is missing, right? Here, you did not tell me what Pehchan does, but now you're telling me what Unite does. So, why don't you tell me what Pehchan does as well in the same fashion? And if you're starting a sentence, it should be a capital A, right? It should not be a small a. So all those consistency issues are really important. If you're telling me what one of does, you tell me about what both of them do, or if it's taking up too much space, you can remove it, right? And then you have like 1 point worth of content which you've put into 2 lines, can club it into one. Very good thing that you can do, which I learned in MBA, is suppose you have a point where one single line is not taking up enough space. You can do something like that. Sports, I put it as one big header. Football team was 1/2 point, and national level esports tournament was another half point. And I put it in the same pointer divided by this pipe. So pipe is above the enter key on your keyboard. You can use that and then put it together in one single pointer. So uh, kill the white spaces, convert into one pointer. Again, just put it to ChatGPT and ask it to make it into one pointer, and it will do the rest. Good for that. Academic achievements and awards. Okay, so academic parts has already completed, and again we're going back to academics. So that's not really great. Probably you can shift it to the top and keep it along with the acad bit. So this bit and education bit should go together unless there is a very strong reason why not to. Acads and acad should go together. Probably you can actually shift your courses or the additional certifications part down, but these awards are good. I am seeing, so I think those should be along with your CAT part. So there's a blank pointer. I don't know whether to trust it or not. I'm not going to like let it fly. Probably should be gone. You should tell me that I won awards in ninth class, 10th class, 11th class, 12th class for excellence in academics by my alma mater. You have to tell which alma mater. Right now you're in a college. Earlier you were in school. Okay, you had the same schools, but people can have different schools. So you need to tell me exactly where you got those uh, awards. uh, this is a good point. This should come along with your academic achievements over here somewhere, and you should put the year that I won NSO, but it was in the year, let's say, 2019, 2021, stuff like that. So it will just add. And also, class topper. Okay, first of all, topper is not an English word. Please, nobody use it. You can Google it out. Topper is not an English word. Don't use it. It shows poor grasp on English. And then gold medalist, you have to quantify it, right? You have to tell me how many students were there within which you won. So, for example, my gold medal pointer goes some. Okay, I don't have gold medal pointer here. I have it here. Uh, Awarded first rank in a batch of 238 candidates and Dean's Merit List for all round excellence. So, how many people from which you got the gold medal is very important to call out. It shows that this person is a top 10% player or this person is a top 1% player. Understood? You're with me? All right. Uh,
Yeah, right.
but there's a very important thing. Think you should have it. Golden and silver medalist in French Olympiad. Okay, great. Again, which year? How many people? Anything else? Any other detail that you can have would be good. Certificates. Uh, Best intern part, right? So this is part of your United the World Foundation. It goes there, right? If this is the point it is related to, it should go there. So shift it up. Okay. A volunteer of the month at Pehchan. Again, whatever you've done in your project part, right? It goes there. So, for example, in my work ex part, um, in my work ex, I am dividing it into three parts. One is कि भाई मेरे को actual काम क्या था. One is the achievements that I had, which is where your parts go in, and one is some initiatives that I took above and beyond whatever the work was. So, if you coach someone, if you mentored someone, if you were taking part of the digital change management for the office, this is where it goes. So again, all of this whole header will disappear and then it will go into like small. This whole thing goes away. Put it along with appropriate, right? Got it? PORs, now this is good. You should
Yes.
have positions of responsibility on your CV. Ideally speaking, the font size should be, let's say you are putting everything in 14. So if your pointers are in 12, your header will be in 14, and the big heading will be probably in 16. uh, I don't know how to explain this. Let me see. Okay, let's go here. When you have work experience, okay, they have used everything 10. Okay, can't say this. Okay. Yeah, if this is on point 4, this is 14, you keep this 12, and then all your CV points are in a font size 10, something like that, just to show that it's a header. Although caps is also good, but if it can be one size bigger, it would be better. Okay, manage a team of. Okay, why so much white space? Kill the white space. Kill the white space. Just put it through ChatGPT. It will give you good stuff how to put it. And it is still part of Pehchan, so it's already been covered over here. So either you don't put this and keep all of
Okay.
the pehchan stuff over here. Let me tell you what's the difference, right? Positions of responsibility is for clubs, committees, all the co-curricular, extracurricular part that you're doing. What other initiatives are you a part of? It is to highlight कि ये तो मैंने काम किया ही है कंपनी का, उसके अलावा मैंने क्या किया ज़िंदगी में। मतलब आई वाज़ पार्ट ऑफ टोस्ट मास्टर्स, आई वाज़ पार्ट ऑफ द एएसएमई और द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टीम। That's, you don't want to replicate the same information in different words here. You want to put new content here to maximize the real estate of one page available to you, right? For
Uh,
example, this is a good part.
right. Sorry to interrupt you, but basically it was ki I was an intern at Pehchan first. I was a project manager,
Yeah,
and then I got promoted to a supervisory position as a project coordinator. So
yeah.
would you still suggest that I put it in Pehchan, or should I keep it separate as a position of responsibility?
No, no, everything goes. So position of responsibility is unrelated to work ex or the internships, right? So for example, if you want to show that you had a promotion or stuff like that, you mention it like this. For 2 years, I was working as the assistant manager, and for 1 year, I was working as a graduate engineer trainee. So that's how you show कि उसमें मेरा अलग काम था, यहाँ पे अलग काम था. Or you can just write in single liner that I was promoted in 1 year, I was promoted in 6 months, stuff like that, to a supervisory role and stuff like that. But positions of responsibility cannot have your work ex or your internship points. I took up some position of responsibility. Let's say I was the elected champion for the digital change management. That can be a position of responsibility, but no, it was part of my work ex. It goes there. Got it?
Got that.
Yeah. And then skills, instead of putting it in a single line, you can maybe put three here, next three here, next last three here, and then save some space, and you can make it into a one page, right? Extracurriculars and achievements. What is a mandala artist? What do they do? What is the foundation? How many people are there? Put some of that stuff in, right? Make it a one-liner, good to read, so that I can understand कि करते क्या हो. Member of Enactus, again Enactus was already over here, so probably already has been covered. Member of DTU Consulting Group, that will become a POR, right? So that will go there. Placement Associate, again it will go up, it will be here. Columnist at, this will be extracurricular. This is not part of a position. Maybe it was just a columnist. I don't know. You can put it as POR also. You can put it in an separate ECA column as well. Uh, this is a perfect ECA point, right? And then you have to mention how many people were there in the case competition, which year it was held in, stuff like that. Volunteering is also good. A declaration, please remove. Nobody needs it. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants a photo of your CV, in your CV. Nobody wants to know your parents' name. All of that, please remove. Right? Social media ambassador, atypical advantage. This is good. Again, instead of making it two sub bullets, you can just continue the whole pointer over here and make sure there's no white space. So once you do all of that, it will be a one pointer. I hope that you've been making notes of all these changes, because I stopped making sticky notes towards the later half, but
Yes, I am. I did.
right. So that is how I go about evaluating the CV, and then finally when we zoom out a bit, and then we can take an overall call of how good the CV is. So let's say at caps, I haven't even, like, this was a review based on how to create a CV. Now if you look at your CV weight, 997, this is out of CGPA is out of 10.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So whenever the CGPA is there, right, there are some stupid colleges who run it out of 4. For example, SP Jan was one of them. So you always mention CGPA, how much out of how much. Okay. For example, there is some IM that runs it out of 8. And I was like, okay, you might be 7.82 out of 8. So no discrepancy. Just put it whenever it's a CGPA, you mention it out of what it was, what was the base. And again, if this is 91%, you don't have to mention the marks again. I think these are the marks, right? Probably you don't
Ye-
have to mention the marks again. 91% is, I get an idea about what it is, right? So coming back to a catch part, 997. I would say it is good, not great, right? Uh, Let us look at your internships. Internships is good, so work F is okay because there's a gap. One was in 2021, one was in 2023. I see a gap. I just call it okay, not even good. Okay. Uh, ACAD's achievements is actually strong because Olympiad and stuff is good to have on your CV. And then PORs are, I think, good, but it's not at the same place. It's divided into two parts, so very difficult to count it. Actually, this is great. Mandela artist is there. One quiz competition is there. Columnist is there. Actually, ECA part is great, and then volunteering also you're doing good stuff. So now looking at this, what do you need to focus on going forward? Uh, Probably work expert or the kind of work that you're doing can be done, or PORs maybe you can add one more if opportunity or time permits. Other than that, I think it's good to go. You just need to put it together. And one pro tip: don't go with very dark black lines. If you look at Bain CV, very light gray color lines. If you look at my CV version in college, gray light color lines. The problem with very dark lines is now nobody prints it. Everybody has it on their PDF, and these lines stand out a lot, especially these thick lines. So make it everything light gray color. It would be beneficial, probably. Okay, that's it. We have 5 minutes for Q&A. I will stop sharing. Before I close, Parishi, any other doubts? Sorry.
First of all, great. Thank you so much for being so critical. Uh, Also, I would like to ask, so what would you prefer, making a CV in tables or the pointers that I put? Which is more preferable?
In table as in?
Like you've put your CV into tables, जैसे कि
Yeah, yeah,
achievements and
yeah,
everything.
like this, right? No, 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 this is not required. This was college format. Very difficult to edit in this. Keep it like this, normal. That how everybody keeps it. Like after leaving college, even I switched back to the normal format. But yeah, make it light colored tables wherever you have. Probably ACADs and all these lines are the only ones which will need to change. Keep it in light color.
Great. Thank you.
All right. So I will stop sharing. Thank you, Parishi, so much for volunteering for this. Not everyone is so eager and willing. Okay, did I miss out any question? I think I did not answer a few. I have a problem with vision equity. Ashish, I don't think so. If anything, a lot of companies nowadays have these questions. Do you need any help applying or stuff like that? And that really helps. Uh, I don't think it should be a problem, but ask people stuff if you want to know. What if you don't have any winner or apart? Should that be put in the CV2 or it would be irrelevant? Doesn't matter if suppose you just participated in a lot of, let's say, long distance marathons. That in alone is a good CV point. Or you participated in TT competitions a lot, you did not win. That alone is a good pointer to have because at the end of the day, I want to show that I have interests beyond just what I'm studying, what I'm learning, or the work that I'm doing. I took part in Toastmasters meetings despite just being a member, stuff like that. Um, can we connect with you over LinkedIn to get resume of ours reviewed? Yes. So I have Topmate as a profile. You can contact me on LinkedIn as well, but I have very few slots because I only have weekends and I like to spend them chilling. So yeah. How to mention technical and soft skills in resume being an engineering student? So technical skills, probably what I would do is let me share screen again. Sorry, just taking up a little bit more time. Okay, okay, let's go here. So I would create a skills part like this. I would put one here, all the technical skills first, and then put all the soft skills in a box next to it. And then cover both of them in the same space so that you don't waste too much white spaces, bulleting them down. And just putting skills is not enough. The problem with that is You need to show how and where you use the skills or where you got those skills. That is more important. So hope you work towards that as well. Should I add my LinkedIn profile ideas? Yeah, if you have updated it and it's something worth looking at, then for sure, because that really helps people. The problem is everybody's CV format is different, and for a recruiter, it becomes really difficult trying to figure out कहाँ पे क्या लिखा है. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, they know how the LinkedIn profile format is, and it has been same throughout the ages. So you can just use that. And also a pro tip, in LinkedIn profile, you can actually change your profile. So your right now profile would be something like Shreya and then followed by so many numbers. You can change it to just say Shreya first name underscore last name or something like that. It's a tool in about section or the settings section. Go and do that before you put it on your CV. So right now my CV just says linkedin.com/, Shikhar Mohan Srivastav, which is good to have. Okay. So I will be sending you the template and both the uh, documents for reference. You guys can go through it. Yes. Thank you, Partha.
Thank you, Shikhar. I would like to express appreciation on behalf of RCC and all the attendees. We are glad you took the time to deliver this informative online session on helping build an impactful resume. Your expertise and practical advice have given us valuable insights, and we appreciate your efforts in sharing them with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, team. Really enjoyed.
Okay, so now I would like to request all the attendees to turn on their cameras so that we can take a picture of the session.
All right.
Okay, all right. For more updates on such sessions, join RCC community. Link is in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, Shikhar.
All
Thank you,
right.
Shikhar.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Bye bye. See you guys. Thanks for the opportunity, team.
Thank you.